It's not possible to overstate the power of relationships. We just touched on a few things here.
I always wanted to create a place that I want to work, right? I spent a ton of time there.
Hello, everyone. It's Mandy here with Answer Force. We are on season 3 of the Restoration Masterclass for Power Skills. Usually I have Michelle with me, but today I'm going to be spearheading this one. And I have Paul Silliman here with Knowhow, and we're going to have a great conversation on power skills. Paul and I, we've kind of gone back a couple years, so I'm going to hand it over to you, Paul, to make your introduction, and we'll get started.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me on, my fellow Floridian. Mandy and I seem to go way back, and if you've been to any of the restoration conference, you've probably seen us running in circles while we're there. But I'm excited to be on. My name's Paul, and I'm account executive here at Knowhow. If you don't know what Knowhow is, we are an easy-to-use mobile and desktop app that helps restoration leaders rapidly onboard, upskill their workforce, and boost productivity. And really just how do we untangle the web that is restoration and make it simple to find on-demand answers at any point in time and in multiple languages as well.
That's amazing. Yes, Knowhow is definitely a product that I see is making moves and changes in the restoration industry. With that being said, Paul, you yourself, you are a restoration chameleon. You have spent a lot of time in the restoration industry doing a multitude of different roles, and just kind of want to start off with asking you, what do you think your number one power skill is?
Well, as you alluded to, I have worked numerous different roles in the restoration industry, starting off as a technician, moving into project management, estimating, spent some time doing large loss, as well as an adjuster for some large carriers, QA reviewing for contractor connection. But I'd say really it's how do you adapt to change? In this industry, especially in restoration, at one point in time in the 90s, when we found mold on a job, we sprayed some bleach, we float some carpets, put some air movers, and moved. Well, in that time, we've adapted new technology. We've adapted new drying techniques, new pieces of equipment. I remember the days where, iPads were first big and we started using Mica and you had to carry around the Verizon hockey puck with you. And heaven forbid, if you lost internet, all of your dry reading data is gone for the day. So how do we really ensure that we're able to pivot, make changes, whether that's from a business perspective or even onboarding and training? Being able to kind of list priorities, take those processes that maybe have worked for 10 years, 15 years, how long you've been in business, and make those changes, adapt to the new workforce, adapt to the new insurance policies, new TPA programs. How do we adapt our business and make sure we're able to stay up to date or even get ahead of some of the things that are changing? And I see being able to be nimble, being able to take feedback, it's really communication. How can we communicate with our team? How can we communicate with, different products, different vendors, but also put a plan in place and have those actionable steps to be able to make that change? COVID exposed a lot in this industry. Now, okay, we can't be in the house. Well, we still have to dry it, but now I have a remote estimating team, or now we're utilizing this software instead of writing on paper, which I know some people still do. How do we give the tools to our team to excel, but also make those changes quickly and efficiently and spend more time building your business, building those skills, which soft skills are skills. You have to hone them in. You still have to work on them, but they can be taught. But really, how do we take some of these simple items, delegate them onto your team, but then give you back the time to keep growing your team, keep investing in, upskilling your workers and staying ahead of those industry trends as well.
So with that, it sounds like we're really on to, being adaptable, being able to deal with change on any level. Like you said, the pandemic threw a curveball in the industry, and would you say that's when you really started to notice a lot of the change in the technology trends?
Yes and no. I think a lot came from that in being able to optimize your workforce to where, at one point in time in restoration, you had a trainer or you had additional staff, or I could hire someone who's just a demo guy. You're just going to rip out drywall, you're going to pack up the truck and go. But now a lot of teams are running leaner than they ever have before. Maybe their leadership team doesn't have a trainer, it doesn't have those extra pieces. And as you know, with technology, as much as it's helped in the field, it's also brought a lot to timelines. You have to answer the phone within 30 minutes. You have to be on site within 2 hours. You have to have photos and documents within 24 hours. How do we adapt our team to the moving and evolving technology world, which a lot of this, you have to remember, whether it's, Clean Claims or, Core Logic or some of these different software solutions, a lot of them are designed to help your workers. It's not, oh, we need you to use 15 different softwares. Well, now if you log all this correctly on site, you're done. You
Right.
don't have to go back to the office and re-go through all the paperwork, re-upload documents, Matterport scanners. You can put them in a room and have it scan and do the sketch with it. Some of this stuff I'm seeing, I'm like, where was this when I
Yeah.
started in the industry? This would have saved me so many hours. But also, we, especially here at Knowhow, how do we help document those changes? How do you put a plan in place to where someone who has no clue what a DHU is, but wants to show up early in the morning, wants to grow a career, how do we put a path in place for them to say, okay, this is how I physically input this stuff. This is how I sync things. This is how we do things, and make it very simple to know not only how to use these skills, how to use this technology to their advantage, because technology does help. This isn't something that is just getting dumped in our lap, especially as you hear more and more about AI and things of that nature. How do we make it optimized? How do we make the barrier to knowledge less? How do we make it to where someone can walk into your organization tomorrow and focus more on, is this person a culture fit? Is this person going to grow with our team? And less, great, go hop in a truck. We'll see if it works. I mean, when I started in the industry, the day I interviewed, they had me go out. I'm in button down and a tie and rip out laminate floor looking like I'm selling Bibles in someone's house. So the day of just go out there and do it, see how long you last, and maybe there's a future, doesn't work anymore. So how do we help kind of put the information in people's hands so that they can excel?
So you brought up a great point when you mentioned utilizing AI. So with this, that seems to be the trending topic, at least in the last year or so, is incorporating AI into the restoration industry. So where do you see AI kind of playing into how restorers and the industry needs to adapt moving forward?
That's a really good question. So two areas I see. One, AI is a tool. It's not AI all of a sudden tomorrow is not going to come out and start extracting water from your house. So let's take that one off. But AI is a tool that can help streamline and optimize and really take some of these inefficiencies and really take that off your plate. At Knowhow, we really look at AI as the ability to, how do we get that information in someone's hand quickly to where if they're out on a job site and they're looking around, they're like, I don't know what an ER9 code is on this DHU right now. What do I do? Do I put it in the truck? Do I wheel it back to the shop? Let me call my manager, pull him out of a meeting, call my project manager who's doing, it's just inefficiencies. With Knowhow, we use AI to be able to simply pull your phone out of your pocket, ask, what is an ER9 code on a DHU? ER9 code means your drain line's likely kinked or blocked. This is how you should address this problem. We just solved that issue autonomously, and now we can move through. So we see it as the ability of really amplifying onboarding training, getting that knowledge into someone's hands, which traditionally would have pulled you out of a meeting, would have just added more to the day where there's already not enough time in a day for a restorer. So how do we use that to grow? But also I see AI, especially, a hot topic. People want to talk about AI is now, oh, when we submit estimates, AI is doing everything, insurance carriers. That's not true. Insurance adjusters are there to determine coverage and make sure it follows the policy. One perk to this is AI is now exposing, here's the box you have to work in. Here's the guidelines we have to go off of. Some people look at those guidelines as, oh, they're painting me in a box. They're not letting me do my job. And then you see another wave that looks at it and says, great, here's what my checklist I have to go off of. Now I know the playbook. Here's how I'll build my estimate. Here's how I can work within those parameters and can help expedite time to get payment, time to close files, time to move on. So it's going to be very interesting to see where AI goes in the next couple of years. It's something that Knowhow is a leader in the restoration industry with AI research and AI in our software, which if you're going to be at the RIA conference, definitely come by and see us. Not dropping any hints, but we got some cool stuff we're going to be showing off. But we really see it as a tool to really amplify your workforce and not the tool that's going to replace anyone's job. It's how do we give back some of the time in your day that you're spending on the tasks that you really shouldn't be doing and making it easier to find that info.
That's really awesome. And yes, I am super excited about RIA. So I hope everyone is registered because I am so excited for the time that we're going to have. It's going to be phenomenal there in Dallas, along with all the the entire restoration ecosystem will be there. So really excited about that. But before we close up, Paul, with that's a perfect segue into kind of wrapping this up and talking about for those who are struggling with, because like I said, you're the restoration chameleon, with those who are struggling with adapting to some, maybe it's the new technology, maybe it's the new way, the restoration world is moving towards. What would you say as, like, what tips would you give to someone who's struggling with adaptation?
That's a great question. I recently went through a class called Method and Mindset. It was put on by Kip Fulks, who's one of the co-founders of Under Armour. And you would think, okay, this is going to be really insightful. We're going to go deep. Really, if you're struggling and you feel overwhelmed or anything, take a step back. What's your company's vision? I listened to Alexis with Thomasville talk about this on the last episode. No big deal. A lot of big shoes to fill there. But like, what's your company's vision? Why are you in business? What's your value proposition? Why do you do what you do? And does your team understand that? And that, not just we're restorers. Why do we do what we do? And make sure that vision statement and values, everyone can recite them in their sleep. How do we make sure we take a step back, put our priorities in place, find out what's our goal for this year, and then let's work backwards. Hey, we really need to work on our onboarding and training. Our team needs to upskill. Awesome. What are our core lines that we do? Are we EMS only? Are we adding recon to it? Are we emergency hurricane services? Map those out, turn around and say, okay, what does an ideal technician at XYZ restoration look like? Awesome. Let's map out what that looks like. Take simple baby steps, but really have that kind of foundational, vision, mission, and values. Map those out and then work backwards from there, because it is easy to sometimes say, I just got 60 jobs in this week. We're just running a million miles an hour. Well, it's easy to get lost in the chaos. Take a step back, make sure you have everything documented, and then work backwards from there. Put simple solutions in place to help your team understand why you're doing it, how to do it, and then look for those different softwares or solutions. Could be consulting, could be product like Knowhow. Love to talk to you guys, but let's put that in place so that all of that information is top of mind, easy to track, easy to find, and then grow from there.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Paul. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today on this soft skill, power skills. It's power skills. We're doing power skills. Being able to speak with me on power skills, and I look forward to seeing everyone at RIA. Paul does as well. And thank you all so much for tuning in. Bye.